Talking to Charlton manager Karl Robinson ahead of Sunday's final match of the season at home to relegated Swindon. Karl, Charlton will be looking to end the season with a 4th win in 5 games on Sunday. But is your focus for attention now firmly fixed on the summer months and team rebuilding?
Yeah, in some ways. No. We want to win Sunday first and foremost, obviously, but it's always been sort of 50% of my job has always been looking forward to what we're trying to rebuild and what we're trying to move forward, a bit of momentum. The results have obviously helped that in relation to a little bit of hope and optimism in some ways. But at no stage have I ever said that's good enough. At no stage do I ever think we're ever going to finish the league acceptable for this club. And the players need to understand that as well. If I'm singing from the rooftops how great we are, I'd be kidding myself, I'd be kidding my players, and certainly the fans will not be kidded in that way. So we've got a lot of work to do, a lot of rebuilding. There's a lot of contracts that we need to look at, a lot of things that we need to achieve, and a lot of players that we need to bring in already. And I'm working around the clock, as you could imagine. It's people always think, at the end of the season you can have a rest. It gets busier. It's nice. Games are a distraction from phone calls that you get.
How advanced are you in that team rebuilding?
We're down the line with certain players. Some of the loan players that we've already spoke to for next season. We'll have to wait, obviously. We'll know what they're doing with their parent clubs. The whole place at the moment, it's almost like somebody's put a big digger into everything. The team, the pitches, as you can see. Obviously our pitches at the front here, which are going to be our pitches, are obviously getting massive amounts of work done. They're not just getting redone, they're getting changed completely. As we look to our right, we can see the community project well underway as well. So it's almost like this whole club, when I come back, I won't recognise it. And that's the dressing room, and that's the pitches. The building internally is getting completely changed. A lot of things are going to happen internally, so one of the first summers in a long time that the fine list is going to be going up, and what we expect of them coming back. So it's about the club, because if you worry about the club, the pitch will take care of itself. I mean, you'd have the right mentality right the way through the whole building, and that's part and parcel of the next stage of our rebuilding process.
You touched on the loan players just now. Can you say anything about the futures of goalkeeper Declan Rudd and Jordan Bataka?
Obviously they'll go back to parent clubs. Both of the players' contracts are up, as you all know. But for it to be to us to see what we want to do with that deck is a little bit different maybe than Jordan. I'm sure not as I take up his option once to get a manager.
Looking ahead to Sunday, are you likely to hand debuts to any of the club's promising youngsters, or will you be looking to improve on the 10 points from a possible 12 already secured?
Deck will be in goal, Soles will play right back, Patrick Bauer, Pierce, De Silva, Jackson, Crofts, Jake, and then Nathan, Josh and Ricky. So it's a strong team. It's Jacko's leading the team out. Soles is fit. Xayez is going to be rested a little bit. Nathan's going to move up one to that familiar position that he loves so much. He's been outstanding, little man, the last 2 games. And Ricky Holmes and Josh needs to get into double figures. Ricky needs to add to his assists and goals. So it's a very strong team, as you can see. And I think that gives you a little bit of a sign of what we're expecting for the game on Sunday.
And that's the first time ever you've announced the team to the press on a Friday.
Yeah, but we're going to the last game. It's one of them ones where I think people need to understand that what I don't like lying to fans is sometimes when people I think sometimes that we keep things so secretive from people for the right reasons, and then people may be expecting some young players, or people might be expecting a strong team, and people will buy tickets on the fact of just not knowing. And I think it's important. I remember a few years ago, and I've named the team a few times for the right reasons, when I took a under-23 team to play Newport away in the whatever the cup's called, not the Capital One, is it what's it called? Anyway, the League Cup. They change so often nowadays. And I didn't want the fans travelling, MK Dons travelling to South Wales and turn up and people that are used to seeing the first team weren't there. And I think people need to. I want to win the game, as you can see from that. I want to put a strong-minded team out, a mental strong team. And we played some young players. I've played them all the way through. the only one, Anthony Dixtelia, I want to have a look at. I think we'll have a look at him more in pre-season. The under-23s have got our massive semi-final coming up on Monday. A week Monday, sorry. They've got a game on Tuesday to get ready for that. So there's also reasons why we're not going. So there's a lot of things that go into my thought process that going into the game. So yeah.
And finally, again, there's been renewed speculation this week about Richie Barkey, number 2, and Simon Clark, another member of your backroom team. Are you able to make any comment about their futures?
Yeah, everything I've said to you up to now has been the truth. We got approached last week from Rotherham to speak regarding Richie. And Richie spoke to me and disappointed, but he chose to go to Rotherham. It's a club that he played for. It's a club that he's got a tremendous affinity with. Still got a house there, from the area. I think he's been there twice as a player, and it was the only job that would have took him away. I knew from day one that there's 2 clubs that I knew he was very close to his heart. And when it came along, and you know what, I've had John Gorman, I've had Gary Waddick, Mick Harford, Richie. There's been so many. Keith Andrews. I've had so many. And I always believe that to be a good manager, that the change of assistant, it challenges yourself as well. You learn to cope with different people's mentality and different people's ways of doing things. It doesn't mean to say that you don't want them not to go, but you have to also almost keep challenging yourself every time, otherwise you become stale. And I wish him all the luck in the world. He's a friend. He's a family friend as well. So, but everybody I've worked with is family friends now, and I treat them like that. Clarkey, someone we made a decision 6-7 weeks ago with Simon. I think there was 1 or 2 things internally that we spoke to him about that didn't really fancy, and he wants to challenge himself in a different way. He's another great guy and someone that I wish him all the luck in the world. He's someone that I'll stay in contact with. There'll be a lot of change, so there'll be a lot of people moving on. So from the 3 or 4 people I've had, none of them will be here in the summer. There'll be a massive change of that. Some through their own choices, but choices that I believe will benefit where we need to go. And there's going to be another 2 changes which won't be announced till next week either. So there's a lot of things that are going to be different around the building, and I don't think that's. Sometimes it's not a good thing, but sometimes it can be. And what it does is it gives us complete flexibility to move forward. I think the next question will be about Lee Bowyer and Johnny Jackson. I already have tremendous people in the building who want to be managers. 2 Charlton people. I don't think I need to really go on too much more for legal reasons. And but I've got 2 tremendous people in the building already, and hopefully we can have a conversation and we'll try and move things forward. But it's really exciting. I'm really excited. I'm disappointed with Richie and Simon moving on because they're good people, but equally on the same note, I'm really excited, and it'll challenge me again as well as the job. And I'm really desperate to make this club successful. I really am, and I need people who are equally as starving for success, and the club's craving it. But you don't get success without working hard. You don't get success without changing things up. You don't get success without upsetting 1 or 2 people. And you certainly don't get success just for turning up and putting a kit on. There's so many other attributes to go with being successful, and the changes starting to make. I'm putting myself under a lot of pressure, obviously, but the second I walked into the building and put this great training kit on, I always knew I was going to be under pressure. So it's one that I'm really looking forward to, and hopefully the changes will reap rewards at this time next year.
Fair to say then that it's a case of dotting the I's and crossing the T's so far as Lee Bowyer and Johnny Jackson are concerned?
Possibly. Listen, Jacko's somebody that I've got unbelievable respect for since I walked into the building. I've seen how much he loves the football club. Speaking to Lee from the first day that I met him, he always spoke about what the club meant to him and what the people of Charlton meant to him. Okay, yeah, we're not in the same area, we're not in the same generation, but Johnny's been through so many of these negative moments that I think he can really, hopefully coming out the other side, that we can move forward and put a trophy back in the cabinet and really cement ourselves in a championship, and why not compete at the top of the championship? And that's got to be our first goal, is this league. You don't look our way, you don't look too many leagues forward, because it'll trip you up. But Bournemouth have done it, certain teams have done it with backing, financial backing and financial support, and coachability, and leadership. And I feel that there's things that I can really add, and hopefully the players who are in the building, players that we can bring in, will support the same ambition as us lot to try and get this club forward, moving forward.
Karl Robinson, thank you very much.